So just one last poem, and I will get out of your way. I want to dedicate this last piece to 5 incredible women without whom I would not be here. The first two, Franny Choi and Fatima Ashgar, who they were seniors when I was a first-year student at Brown. And if they had not performed poems during our orientation week, I would still be the high school loser eating my chicken nuggets alone by the bathroom. And instead, I thought that I could be cool by going to the spoken word poetry club every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. I also want to dedicate this to Kathy Lynn Che. There are folks who inspire us to be writers, and there are folks who teach us how to be writers. And Kathy is my first teacher, and her book, Split, is the only book in the English language or any language in which a Vietnamese American woman survives violence and endures. And every time I think about the kind of woman I want to be, I also think about Kathy. And the last two, to Mahogany L. Brown, who gave me a family when my family didn't know what to do with me. And of course, lastly, to my mother, for whom all my poems are for, and for whom all my poems are prayers that we learn to love each other. And I thank you for letting me say my prayers out loud and for listening. Thank you. Against redemption. For so long, I envied the engineering of birds, descendants of dinosaurs, the original refugees. They survived millions of years on this planet, saw it burn and rise out of its delicious burning. They were there with the first humans, the first civilizations, Eve in the garden with Adam, her industrious resolve, his ignorance, not even aware of its ignorance. They were there, talons digging down into the bark of the tree of knowledge, beaks shoved into its sweet and sour fruit. I envied your proximity to history during 9th grade physics, when Mr. Majors had our class build and launch bottle rockets on the soccer field to demonstrate our mastery of aerodynamics, of gravity, though I'm sure he knew we would never be masters of anything, not even our bodies, this primary sin. But I memorized birds. I knew their kingdom and phylum. I knew birds so well, I did not need to copy off of Stephanie's exam, kept quiet while she passed answers to somebody else, Apollo Blatchley, kept quiet while Mr. Major sent her off to the principal's office, made an example of her the way we shamed Eve for comprehending what Adam couldn't even begin to fathom, the way later that year we made fun of the biology teacher, Miss Cromwell, for reportedly sneaking off with the geometry teacher, Mr. Mazzano, because we were just kids and stupid and unfamiliar with love, what it presents as, what it could mean, birds. I envied you so deeply. I forgot the curse of having wings, of always thrusting forward through this world, unable to touch and hold another hand, to feel inside a wound and cauterize it. I forgot what it meant to harbor an ancient intelligence all those summers I walked by you, little pigeons scavenging popcorn outside the Pearl Theater on my way to a laboratory where I pretended to be a scientist, cultivating brain cells in a petri dish. What was my hypothesis? If the neurons in my brain aren't replaced when they die, then I'll never forget my father's hand sliding open the bathroom door, his hand pointing to a bed in a cold garage, his hand tightening a belt around my neck, fingers thick and salty in my mouth. Did I learn nothing from you in high school, in Miss Garcia's English class, where we read about Philomela, how she was taken into the woods, how she was left there to spoil, how the gods turned her into a nightingale, a tongueless bird cursed to wander this world, to testify, to name her assault and her assailant. I'm not saying I deserve divine mercy. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, like Eve, like Philomela, I too wanted prayer and protest, salvation and suffering, heaven, brutal and beautiful as hell, all the provinces of human experience, freedom, and the folly of freedom. I wanted the fruit inside the fruit. A succulent seed I could bury in the soft earth and grow another tree of knowledge, another orchard of knowing and unknowing where I could run naked. But for my snakeskin coat, my snakeskin boots, where I could run through wind with all the people I love, with all who have loved me so fast. We become wind. And for a moment, it feels like flying. Thank you.